This is a question from your practicals. The question reads as follows. Create an applet to implement simple calculator. The integer data are to be entered through the text box, and the operation that is to be performed, the operator includes plus, minus, star and division, to be given through command buttons. When the user presses the compute button, results should be displayed. There are two conditions. First one is do the validation for empty text box for numbers. Second one is handle division by 0 error. We are going to create a simple applet using NetBeans. So I have the NetBeans here. I'm going to click on File, New Project, and I'm going to select the Java application. I'm going to give a name for this project as My Calculator. You can give any name for this one, a simple calculator or anything. I'm going to just finish it off. So I have my calculator over here, and I have the source package, and I have my calculator. This is the class with static void main. You can see over here. Let me add an applet for this project. To do so, I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to go to New, and if you don't get applet here, just go to Others. If you get an applet, just click on the applet. I'm going to go to the Others just to tell you how to get it. So go to Others. Under Java, you will find many things. One of them is applet. You can go for JApplet or applet. I will go for applet because the question reads that we are supposed to create an applet. I'm going to go to the next one, and I'm going to give a name to this applet as Simple Calculator. I'm going to finish it off. So my calculator applet is ready. If you notice, the NetBeans has created a class called as Simple Calculator. It extends out of applet, and the applet is obtained from java.applet.applet. There is one method called as init that is used to initialize the applet. So let me create a layout for this. So I'm going to just save this one. The first thing that I'm going to do with my applet is I'm going to set a layout for my applet. The way in which I do it is I'm going to call the setLayout method of the applet. I'm going to set a grid layout for this applet. The way in which I'm going to do it is I'm going to say new grid layout. Grid layout is taken from java.awt. So I'm going to press this, and I'm supposed to provide the number of rows and number of columns. I will set the number of rows as 7 and number of columns as 2. So this is what I have it here. Now in order to see how this is going to appear, just right click anywhere on the source code and then select Run File. So you can also use Shift F6 to run it. So I'm going to right click and run this file. Now when you run this particular application, you're going to see an applet which is very empty. So what is that I'm going to do over here is I have splitted this whole thing into 2 columns and 7 rows. So there is going to be 7 rows over here. So what are the things that I'm going to do? So here I'm going to put a label calling it as simple calculator. So this is what I'm going to do. So first I'm going to put a label here as simple calculator. So this is going to come in the first cell. Second cell I'm not put anything. So I will keep this as blank. So let's go ahead and let's complete that part. I'm going to go to my source code here, and I'm going to add a label. The way in which I do it is I call the add method of the applet, and I'm going to say new label. I will give the text as simple calculator. So this is going to come in the first cell. In the second cell, I'm going to add a new label, and as I've told you, I will not put any text into that. Let's look at how it's going to appear. So when I run my file, you will notice that a calculator has been created. Now there is a grid here which is not visible, but it is still there. So my first cell contains simple calculator, and the second cell here is empty. In my next row, I'm going to put a label here, and I'm going to say enter first number here, and right in front of it I'm going to put a text box. Let's do that thing. We are back at our source code. Let's add one more label. So I'm going to say new label, and the text that I'm going to give is enter first number. That's all. Now because I want to have a reference to the text box, I'm going to go and create the fields for my text box. The way in which I do it is I'm going to say text field. This is available from java.awt. You need to import this one. So when I press enter, the NetBeans automatically adds the import statement. But if you are using Notepad or any other editor for that matter, you need to add those import statements on your own. Let's go ahead and let's give it a name. I'm going to call this as first number. Let me instantiate that. I'm entering the init method over here, and I'm going to initialize this one, and I'm going to say this is new text field, and I will set the number of columns as 5 for this particular text field. I'm going to add this particular text field into my applet. Now if I run this, you will notice it's going to appear in this manner. Now you may find that okay, this is not appearing. It should have appeared here in front of this area, but when you run it, you may find that it's coming in the other row. No problem, we will continue adding it. After adding few of the rows, automatically it will align everything for us. So this is the first number. In the same way, in the next row, I'm going to add the second number, my second number text here, and the text field right in front of it. Let's go ahead and let's do that thing. in order for me to have a reference to my second number, I'm going to create one more instance of one more field called as second number, and I will not type the whole thing again as it's going to take too much of time. I have selected everything, Control C to copy and Control V to paste it. So what I have done over here is I'm going to add one more label, and the label just reads as enter second number. Is same as this label, is same as my previous label. In the first one I have said enter first number. In the second one I am just saying enter second number, that's all. So I have second number is there, and I need to change my field name as second number, that's all, and I have to add the second number. So what I've done is, instead of typing the whole thing again, I've just copied these 3 lines from here, pasted it and made the required changes. Let me save it and let me run it again. You notice that the calculator appears like this. Again you will notice that the things are not appearing properly. So there is a column on the left hand side and the right hand side. This part is appearing properly, and you are expecting the text box to appear on the second or the right hand side column, and you are expecting the text field to appear on the right hand side column, but it is not appearing. It's all right for us. We will continue with the third row. In the third row I am going to display my result. The way in which I am going to display my result is, I am going to show a label called as result, and I am going to put a text field over here that's going to show the result of 2 numbers that you are adding. So let's go ahead and let's do that part. So I'm going to close this one, and because I want a reference to my result text box, I'm going to add a field called as result text. That is my field name, and I'm going to go over here and I'm supposed to do the whole thing again. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy that 3 lines and I'm going to paste it. And what am I supposed to do it? So here it is not enter second number, it is result is, that is the text, and I'm not supposed to create a second number which is already created. I am supposed to create the result text, and I'm supposed to add the result text. So it's the same thing. You create a label, you create an instance of text field, add them to the applet. Let me save and let me run now. Now you will notice that the things are appearing quite proper. So you have the column here. The first column you notice here, the first row you notice here has the simple calculator text on the left hand side column. Right hand side is empty. Then you have the second row which shows the first number and the text box. Third row which shows second number, enter second number, and the text box. And the fourth row which shows result is and text box. Now I am going to add the 2 buttons, that is the plus and one more button minus. So let's add that thing. After this I am going to add one more button, and that button will be the multiplication button and division button. Let's create all these buttons. I will close this applet. As usual, because I want a reference to these buttons, I'm going to create the fields for these buttons. So I create an instance of button. By the way, button is imported from java.applet.button. NetBeans does it directly for you, but you will have to remember that there must be a import statement if you are typing Java code directly in any other text editor. So let's start with the button. I will call this as add button. Instead of plus, I call it as add button. Then I will call it as second button. I'm going to call it as subtract button, SUB button. Third one is multiplication button. Fourth button is division button. So I created the 4 variables or 4 fields for 4 buttons. Let me initialize them and then add it to my applet. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to say add button is equal to is nothing but a new instance of my button. I'm going to show the string as plus here because it's addition. So I did this. So my instance of button has been created. I'm going to add that button to my applet. This I've done it for the add button. The same thing I have to do it for my subtract, division and multiplication button. So what I have done here is I have copied this and I have pasted it. So second time I am supposed to do it for my subtract button, and the symbol that I am supposed to use is the minus, and I am supposed to add the sub button here. Again I am supposed to do it for my multiplication button. I'm going to copy and paste the previous one. So this button name is multiplication button and the symbol is star. Here I am supposed to add the multiplication button. Finally, my last division button has to be added. So this is division button and division symbol and division button. Done. Let's run it and let's see how it's going to appear. When you run this applet, you notice that all of them have come. You have the first row and columns here. Row and columns are there and they are appearing in a neat manner. All our 4 buttons are already there. Last thing that we are supposed to do as far as the question is, there must be a compute button. When the user clicks on this compute button, we are supposed to do the calculation. So let's go ahead and let's add the last button. Because I need a reference to this, I'm going to call this as compute button. So that is my compute button. I'm going to create an instance of compute button and I'm going to add it to my applet. The way in which I can do it is I will create compute button is a new instance of a button, and the name of that button I will call it as compute. Add this compute button to my applet. That's all you need to do. So everything is done for us. I will run this applet, and this is how it's going to appear. What is that we are supposed to do as far as the question? We are supposed to enter integer numbers. If I click on plus and then click on compute, then only the result has to be displayed here. So I have to handle the action listener for the plus button, the minus button, the multiplication, division and compute button. Let me add the action listeners for all these buttons. I will go to my code. Here I've stopped by adding the compute button. Now I'm going to go to this add button and I'm going to add a action listener. Now here I'm supposed to enter the object of type action listener. I'm going to say this here. What is the meaning of saying this here is the applet that I've just created here will handle the action listener event. The way in which it can do it is it has to implement the action listener interface. So I'm going to say action listener interface. So what is the meaning of writing this over here is that when I said my button, add button will, for this I have added a action listener, and I am saying that the same class will handle the action listener event. Now in order for me to implement the action listener, I will have to implement all the abstract class which are part of this interface. I will use the help of NetBeans. You will notice that in the NetBeans there is a small bulb here with a exclamation mark. I am going to just click on it and it's going to give me a suggestion that implement all the abstract method which are part of the action listener interface. If I just double click on it, what the NetBeans will do is it will add one method called as action performed directly for me. So this method I have to, within this method I have to handle the action that are performed by the add button. In the same way I will have to handle the action event for all the buttons. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy up to this point. So after dot I'm going to copy. Then I'm going to say my subtract button, Control V to paste. Will also, so what I've done here is subtract button, add action listener for the subtract button. In the same way my multiplication button, I've added the action listener. Division button, I've added the action listener. I'm copy pasting it. And compute button, I will add the action listener. Let's look at what we are supposed to do now. I will run my applet. Whenever I click on any of these buttons, this method is called. So when I click on plus, minus, division, compute, whatever that I am doing, this method is called. Now when this method is called, you are supplied the action event. Now because all the methods are calling the same, all the buttons are calling the same method, I have to distinguish between whether the plus button is pressed or minus button is pressed or compute button is pressed. How do I know that which button is pressed? When I click on any of these buttons, this method, that is action performed method, is called directly. Now within this method I have to find out which button is called. How do I distinguish between the different buttons? For that I am supplied with action event. Now this action event E contains additional information that says which button is clicked. So whether it is a plus, whether it is a minus, whether it is a compute, which button is clicked, I can find out by looking at this action event. How do I do that? So within this action event, the variable name here is E. You can supply any other name. E dot, I can say get action command. Now what is this action command? What is the use of this action command? Action command is going to give me, okay, so it returns the command string associated with this action. What is the meaning of that? It just means to say that when I call this applet here, when I click on plus button, this method is called, and whatever text that is shown in within this method I can retrieve here. So by looking at the text that is displayed on top of these buttons, I can find out which button is clicked. So if the text on the button is star, that means I am supposed to perform the multiplication. In the same way, if the button pressed is compute, I am supposed to do the computation. This is what I am supposed to do now. Let me go ahead and let me complete the calculation part here. You will notice that as far as the question, I can press any of the symbols over here, that is plus, minus, division. I can press any of them, but only when I press the compute, only when I press this compute button, the calculation has to be done. So there are two sets of buttons here. One is this plus, minus, star and division. They are just used to get the operator. So operator could be plus, minus, star or any other thing. So this is used to get the operator, and the compute button will do the calculation. So as long as I press the compute button, I can perform the calculation. Now how to handle this? I will go with the if statement. If you know that E dot get action command, if this is equals to compute. So I am again, I've already told you, I will not type anything. I will copy paste that string because there may be, it may be case sensitive. It is always case sensitive, and you might have written something in capital, something in small case. It always creates a problem. So just copy that string and paste it over here. What I've done now is, if the, let me run it and let me show you. So if I press the compute button, then I am supposed to do the calculation. Otherwise, if I press any of these buttons, I have to just remember which is the operator that I am supposed to do. Suppose there is a number 4 here and there is number 5 here, and if I press star, nothing is going to happen. When I press compute, I am supposed to take that 4 here, and my operator was star, so star here, and the next number, whatever next number, and I have to do the calculation. So compute is one set of button, a separate button that will perform the calculation, and these are only operator that I need to remember. So by pressing on star, plus, minus or division, I can only get which operator I am supposed to perform, but the actual calculation is done by this compute button. That is why I distinguish between the compute button and the other set of button. So if it is compute button, I am supposed to do the calculation. Otherwise, I am supposed to know which is the operator that I need to use. Now, because I have to remember this operator for other invocation, I am going to create a variable called OP at the class level. So I will create a variable called as OP at the class level, so that class level variable, so that it will be available for my next method invocation. I will go here to the else part, OP equal to, and I am going to say E dot get action command. What is this I have done? Let me run and let me again show you what is that I have done. Whenever I click on any of these buttons, the symbol which is there on this button is stored in OP. When I click on this compute button, I will do the actual calculation, and this actual calculation is based on which operator was clicked. Suppose if I click on the plus, my calculation is adding two numbers which are displayed here. Suppose if the operator is minus, then when I compute, I am going to take this number and this number, subtract them and show the result over here. So all these four buttons are just used to get the operator. I got the operator now. I am supposed to do the actual calculation. How to perform the actual calculation? In order to perform the calculation, I have to get the two numbers which are typed in the text box. However, the question says that I have to validate for empty text box. In other words, if nothing is typed over here, I have to show the error saying that one of the text box or both the text box are empty. Let me handle that part first. So as far as the question says, if my first number text box, I'm going to get the text out of that thing, is empty, then I have to show the error message. So I will go to the result text and I'm going to set a text, and I'm going to say that enter first number and an exclamation mark. Same thing, else I will do the same thing again. So I will not type again. If the second number text box is empty, then I'm going to say enter second number. Let me run it and let me show you what is that I have done. I run this one. Now you notice that both the text box are empty. If I click on compute, I will get a message saying that enter a number, because nothing is typed there. If I type in first number and then click on compute, it says enter the second number. So if I type the second number, I am supposed to do the calculation. Now how do I do the calculation? The calculation has to be done on which is the operator that has been clicked. So if I do the calculation, nothing is going to happen now because I have not done the calculation. So if this number is not empty, if this text box is not empty, I have to find out which among them which button is clicked. Based on the operator, I am supposed to do the calculation. Let's go ahead and let's do that thing. So we are back to the code. Else, let's do the calculation. How do I do the calculation? In order to do the calculation, I am going to take two numbers. First number is, I will take it as n1. I am going to read that first number. So first, F-I-R-S-T, first number, get text. This is text. I will convert it into integer. The way in which I do it is, I am going to say integer parse int, and I will put it over here. So what I've done is I've read the text from the text box, passed it as integer, and I'm storing it as n1. In the same way, I'm going to take the second number and I'm going to store it as en2. I will not retype the whole thing because it's going to take too much of time and it makes the video lengthier. So I have two numbers, n1 and n2. Again, if you didn't really get it, what I did here was a quick run, and I'm going to show you what is that I'm doing is, suppose if I type two numbers here, these numbers are text. So if I read it, I will read it as text. But in order for me to do the calculation, as far as the question says, I have to consider them as integer. So how do I do it? I will just parse them as integer in both the cases. I read the text, parse them as integer, and then I store it in the integer variable. Now based on which operator is been clicked, I have to perform the calculation. Now I have the two numbers with me. I need to do the calculation according to the operator. So I will go over here ahead with the calculation. We know very well OP is the operator. I'll go to this OP and I will say if it is equal to plus, then I am supposed to do the addition. How do I do that thing? I will go to my result text and I am going to set the text. What is the text I am supposed to do? My first number is n1 and the operation that I am supposed to perform is plus. For this I am going to add n2. Now the problem with this is I am setting it as a text. When I add to integer, I get an integer. So I have to convert it as string. The easiest way to convert them as string is I go here and add an empty string to it. Now it may appear to be a bit complicated, but let's look at what I have done. So I took the first number n1, I took the second number n2, I added both of them. So when you add to integer, what you get is a int. Okay, you get is an int, but what you are doing is you are trying to set a text. Int is not a text, so I add. This add is called as concatenation. I concatenate it with an empty text. We know very well, whenever you add or whenever you concatenate something with a text, whole thing will convert into a text. So after adding, whatever result you get is automatically converted as text, and this text can be set to the result. Let's go ahead and let's run it and let's see whether we are able to get that thing. I run my applet. I have a number 5 and I have a number 2. I click on plus, so my operator is plus. I click on compute, I get the result. So 5 plus 2 is 7. Similarly, I have to do it for all the others. Let's go ahead and let's do that part. Again, I will not type that whole thing again. I will just type else. After that, I'm going to copy paste my previous computation. So I have already done it for plus. Now I am doing it for minus, and what is the symbol that I need to change is minus. Same thing I am supposed to do it for multiplication. I did it for minus. Now I am doing it for multiplication. Same thing I am supposed to do it for division. Let me do it for division. However, there is one minor problem with this division. I will remove this else, which is not really required. Last else is not required. Let's look at a question. The question clearly says that I need to handle division by zero error. What is the meaning of it is, whenever you divide two numbers, n1 divided by n2, if n2 is 0, you get a division by zero error. So let's handle that part. Very simple thing. So if n2 happens to be 0, then I will go to my result text and I'm going to set the text as division by 0 and then maybe explanation. Otherwise, my usual calculation. This is as far as the question. Let's go ahead and let's give it a final touch. Run it. You have two numbers here. Let me take 8 and let me take it as 3. I click on plus, compute. 8 plus 3 is 11. I click on minus, compute. 8 minus 3 is 5. I click on star, compute. It is 24. I click on division, compute. So it is 2 point something will come. It's an integer division. So you get only 2 over here. Now few other things. What if this number was 0 and I performed the division? I get a division by 0, which I'm supposed to get it. What if this number itself was empty and I try to divide? I get enter the second number, which is an error. What if this first number was empty and I perform any operation? I get enter the first number. So everything is done except the last one, and that is here. If you notice, I can type anything of my choice, which should not happen. So I am not supposed to allow the user to edit this text box. How do I do that thing? I will set the editable property of this text field as false. Where do I do that? I'll close this, go back to my place where I created my result text box. You notice over here. So I created it here. Anywhere you can do it. So I created that result text box, immediately I will say result text box set editable is false. The reason I'm doing it as false is I don't want the user to make changes to the result. So run it. This time you notice that the Java will not allow you to type anything and everything over here. So I type some number 5 and 4, I can do the calculation. I cannot change this value. I can do the calculation. If I put a 0 here and try to divide, I get division by 0 error. If I don't type anything over here and then try to do it, I get all the things, but I will not be allowed to make changes to this text box or text field rather, because its editable property, if you notice over here, is set as false. That's all that we are supposed to do in this simple calculator. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.